Greetings! In today's video, I have just creations for you. Some of them are not painted because they're sort of in the prototyping stage, but I'll explain more of that when I get to them. The first build of the day is this ornithopter prototype thing. I essentially tried a new method of moving the wings super fast with pistons. It doesn't yield the best results because the pistons are a little bit more unpredictable and less controllable than the hinges. Therefore, sometimes the tips of the wings will hit each other and make it shake a little bit. It does work relatively well. I don't know if it's entirely worth the effort that it takes to make something like this, but it works. So the wings folding back isn't exactly the best because of how the mechanism is created. It doesn't have the most mobility, and it's harder to fine-tune where the wings end up while they're shaking or going back and forth. I have a pretty complex landing gear, I guess, but it's pretty standard as far as the Dune ornithopter is concerned. I have nice lights at the front, or which could be antennae or whatever. I do have a big spotlight as well, glitched in there, and guns. The back has these angled fins, and the entire tail section is hinge glitched in order to be very tapered. Sometimes when you're yawing, it will mess with the hinge glitch a little bit, and it takes a bit of finagling to get it back into place, but that's fine. I also have a firework somewhere in there, and I have bomb bays for explosives. The opening for the bomb bays is a little bit wonky, but I was attempting to ensure that the shield pieces wouldn't get caught on anything. So that's the result. The next creation is going to be the continuation of the wheel saga. Big wheel with thrusters inside it because I made it into a spaceship, which is this thing, and this thing is enormous. And so I decided I wasn't going to make this. Well, I made it and then I started over essentially because it was just too big, too high complexity, not enough space to work with, not enough blocks to work with. So I made it anew. And this is the smaller version, which I will respawn so that the corpse of the other thing goes away. This is the smaller version. It's derived from this image, which is just a piece of art in the background of a YouTube video with music related to Dune on it. It's just orchestral music. I'm not entirely, like, it doesn't necessarily matter. The point is, it doesn't tell me anything about any other angle of this spaceship other than directly behind it. So I don't know what to do with the front, which means I just put some guns in there and then painted it black. But yeah, that's it, really. It's just made to look from the back like the image looks from the back. And I added on some decals for detailing, which I'm pretty proud of. They took a few minutes to get aligned properly, and I'm happy with them. When it gets close to the ground, the distance sensors fold the wings in so that it's not touching the ground with them. And then when it gets further away, it opens them up. And that's basically it for functionality. I was just going for the look of the image in the YouTube video that Ion sent me because he was sending me cool music to listen to. And that's what came out. Third creation for today is a wagon. This is the seashocker from How to Train Your Dragon movies and TV shows. It's a double-headed kind of dragon, like the hideous Zippleback. Because it has two heads, I've fit two blasters inside it, of course. One per head, clearly. It takes a lot of cues from the owl build that I showcased on the channel not too long ago. And because I was trying to make a lot of things work with the owl very smoothly. I managed to transpose a lot of that knowledge into this dragon, which has improved it quite significantly compared to the previous dragons in ease of use and versatility, because I just have an up button now. Like, I can just go up whenever I want to, instead of having to specifically take off like a plane. I can just hover, and that helps. The main disappointment, I guess, is that I can't make it go underwater because the seat will kick me out, and there's literally no way that I could ever piston glitch or hinge glitch a underwater capable seat into this, because it's already so high complexity, and I would have to make it even bigger to accommodate for that, and I'm not going to, because I'm not that much of a masochist. But yeah, dragon, pretty proud of it. Happy decaling, very spiky dragon. One thing I must point out before we move on is the inventive way that the visual designers used the shape of a manta ray. Like, if you look at the actual seashocker design, it's so clearly a manta ray, and then they took the two little nubbins at the front and made those into the heads. That's such a brilliant move to make it alien, but you can see the inspiration, and you've just relocated where its personality resides. Anyway, robot. This is the Galahad. I named it after the Walking War Robot's counterpart, because I had nostalgia and I used to play that game a lot before it became incredibly consumer unfriendly. Me and my brother used to play it like 7 odd years ago. And the Galahad was one of the robots that I ran a lot. I enjoyed having a big shield that I could just raise up and defend myself with. I made a robot, then I decided to put a shield on it, then I realized that I could paint it like the Galahad, then I named it the Galahad, and then it kind of, yeah. But I just wanted to make a cool robot because Edify made a very cool robot, and I wanted one, and then I put a shield on it, and I was like, hey, that looks like the thing, I should name it like the thing. Anyway, it has gun. I can aim gun and then shoot gun independently from when I aim gun, because I wanted to be able to threaten people with the gun, and that was very funny to me. I can raise the shield. What else can I do? I can open the face visor. I have lights of various colors and placements. The face visors, I like how I managed to make this open and close, and the way it's shaped. It's very glitchy, as in it doesn't like existing at all, because it's like glitching several pieces into each other. It's not happy, but it works. The walking animation is wonky, but yeah, it does work. I'm happy with it. And as is evident by all of the thrusters in the back, it does fly. And I can transition it into this mode, which just gives me full total control, like a plane. Like, it deactivates the gyro stabilizers on the inside. Like a plane, like a spaceship, like a missile, like a very rotund missile bullet thing that will just face plant straight into you and absolutely disintegrate you. A very chubby missile. Yes, I enjoy this. The final thing this can do is it can sit, because all of my walkers have to have a sitting animation now. It's just become a staple. I'm not allowed to forego it. For the final creation, I must activate complexity mod. This, I believe, is the first over complexity creation that I'm properly showcasing, because yes. Also, this one is not entirely painted. As you can see, some parts of it are painted. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish painting this. However, witness the apatosaurus. Mikey, he was coerced by two of his other friends to make a brachiosaurus, I believe. Very tall one, the one with the tall neck. And I was like, I should make a long neck because yes. And so I had to look up what Littlefoot from The Land Before Time, what his species was, because I couldn't remember, and it wasn't a apatosaurus, and so that's what I built. Yeah, this is the result. So walking animations on things this large don't really work incredibly well. It does sort of look like it's walking, but only sort of. Because it's very heavy, there's a very easy way to reduce the stress that's on all of the joints, and that's to dunk it in the ocean. The tail is on an idle animation, it just swings. It is in part affected by whether you're pressing A or D to turn, but most of it is just in a free swing all the time. I piston glitched the seat, which is the spaceship cockpit seat, the big one, the underwater capable one. I piston glitched it into the face because I wanted to. And so here we are. Yeah, you can see the character's scarf dangling out the bottom of the chin. It's so large it barely fits on my screen when I'm entirely zoomed out. It's underwater. Because the water helps with the buoyancy and stuff, it means that it essentially has to deal with a lot less stress, therefore walks better, is less likely to break, and everything like that. And there you go. That's been a showcase of some creations that I've been making and working on. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the future.